Good morning, baby's not on full screen. Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing today? Let me first things first. Now I've got baby on full screen. Check the audio. First things first.
Hello.
Yes, nice. Baby's audio is good. My audio is good. This is nice. Yes. How are we all doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/iScream Uploads. My name is Graham Day. How are we all doing today? If you're in the chat, please feel free to say hello. Yes, it is another United shirt. I mean, what can I say? We got an amazing victory in the cup yesterday. So yeah, there you go. Nice. Oh, got a bit of something stuck on my shoulder. How are we all doing? For those of you who don't know, my name is Graham. I think I just mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. And this is the man that we call Baby. And we are iScream Uploads. You can probably tell because it says it on the channel name. It said it all the way through the intro, and it says it on both of our hats. So there you go. Yeah. Exclamation mark merch, and you won't be able to buy these hats because they're not publicly available for sale. So there you go. Nice. There you go. Sorry. Anyway, we are iScream, and in true iScreamy fashion, this is your scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, even if we do say so ourselves. And we are here to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games and beyond. We go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. It's 11:07. 10 a.m. ish. 10 a.m. ish. We always we have an emote for those specific reasons. Anyway, we go live each and every single weekday on twitch.tv/iScream Uploads at 10 a.m. ish. And if you're with us in the chat, please feel free to use your voice. You don't have to though. You don't have to. I've just seen Callum. Good morning, Bearded Edge. He says I'm in a meeting, so just here lurking. You don't have to use your voice. Feel free to type in !lurk in the chat if you do want to lurk. You don't even have to do that. Just being here is more than enough. But if you are here and you can type, it is important that you do use that voice that you have, because we turn this live stream into a podcast, a video that goes on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So please use your voice on behalf of everyone watching and listening on demand a little bit later on. If you are watching and listening on demand, enjoy. If you're on YouTube, please feel free to hit the like button. Much appreciated. Nice. Anyway, before we start, a couple of things. One thing, do you know what? I wasn't planning to do this, but I'm going to try and do this anyway, just because me and Bibby have been fiddling with mobile cameras. A couple of things to mention. First of all, !loot drop. If you're one of our subscribers, if you type in loot drop, network connection's dying. Yeah, if you type in loot drop, !loot drop, you'll get information on how you can bag yourselves potentially a free prize every month. One person wins a prize every month. That one person has to be a subscriber and be in our Discord. That, as Pirate has just typed in, cheers Pirate, you lovely guy. Ferno, thank you very much for the host. Good morning, dude. Good morning. Yeah, feel free to check that out if you want to make sure you maximise your chances of winning prizes by helping support us in the channel. Obviously, your subs do help us keep on all the lights, and we have quite a lot of lights. And Pirate, with a 16-month... 16-month resub up the ICU. We have an exclusive emote for that, by the way. So yeah. It's taken. There we go. I can say it's taken a couple of seconds to go through, but Steel Bonsai, thank you very much for the host. Nice. Let me reset the lighting in the room. Appreciate once again anyone that lurks, anyone that hosts, anyone that subs, anything like that. We appreciate massively. Let me just try something in the chat. I don't know if this actually exists. !Elgato. Our streams, there we go. Our stream setups are powered by numerous Elgato products: green screen, stream decks, capture equipment, key lights, and mics. Loads of Elgato stuff, which is what I was tinkering with the camera for. So let me turn that round. There we go. Okay, let me turn this on. So this is my setup. There's our scripty stuff that we go through. There's you guys on the stream. This is what I can see. There's Bib. And there's the camera that I'm speaking to you on now. Check out that ice cream upload hat there. But if I turn back around, you can see. Oh, my PlayStation goodies. But this, look at this. We can see cardboard boxes with the words
"Oh, hello,
Corsair" on it. Corsair, if you don't know, make Elgato products. Corsair and Elgato are the same company. We have some. Do you know what? I'm not going to show you. But there's some blue boxes. Okay. Well, that is something that will come at some point soon, we will give you all the details, but not yet. So shout out to the lovely people at Elgato. No doubt most of you are aware of Elgato anyway, because if you're in here watching us on Twitch, you may also be, a person that dabbles in Twitch, and you're probably aware of Elgato. But we have some new upgrades, so you'll be seeing those pretty soon. Spoilers, nice tease. But that's enough of that. Shout out once again to Elgato. Do you know what? Oh, I'm leaking the first story of the day. I mean, you've seen it on Twitter anyway, but there. Shout out to Elgato. If you see us posting anything on social media, by the way, where we give Elgato some love, if you guys can help support that post with just a few retweets and likes and comments and stuff, it helps us get more stuff off them in future, which might even mean we can get some extra bits for you guys as well. So just, appreciate you guys support us anyway, but just, thank you very much. Nice. Excited for your Elgato goodies, babe?
Yes, just so that my microphone now doesn't sound like shit. The thing is, a lot of people said these mics are good, and I've had it now for nearly 2 years. For me, when I look back at my old stream, when we look back at our old shows and I test to see whether or not the show sounds great, it just doesn't. It sounds clear, but it just doesn't sound great. Your microphone sounds great. However, now hopefully you'll be able to hear Mancunian boring tones in a much better, clearer way.
Well, I will bring one product out of the box, just because I think they could probably guess what it is. But we've got some Wave 3s! Yay! Yeah. So we have some new Wave 3. I'm not showing you what else is in there. That can all wait for now. But it's going to fall over. Please don't fall. Nice. So we have some extra cool stuff. So the audio, expect upgrades as we go to a full audio solution using Wave 3 across our home setup. So nice. Once again, shout out to Elgato for that. Much appreciated. But for now, let's jump into some news. You may have seen it already for two reasons. One, because we tweeted it, and two, because the tagline was on the screen just a second ago. Whoops. But today's first story, if I did this... Okay, you get what I'm doing. Today's first story is hugely focused on Star Wars, yay! Which is good news for me. I hope it's the same for you, but let's jump in. This is written by Tom Ivan at VGC. Ooh, caught in mid-yawn, bear with me 1 second. Ooh, there we go. Tom Ivan at VGC says, Ubisoft's groundbreaking Star Wars game is in the early stage of development. Gary Clark in the chat says, Start Wars. Good morning, Mr. Garlic Clark. Can we get an exclamation mark Garlic Clark in the chat, please? Thank you. Open world game from the studio behind The Division might not be released before 2023. Let me stop for just a second, whilst Gary's here. Should we get the Garlic Clark clip, clip the audio from it, and then set it up as an emote, so every time someone types exclamation mark Garlic Clark, it starts as an audio cue? Garlic Clark, thanks for the follow. No, because that will just happen endlessly throughout the stream. Let's not do it. Anyway, I'll jump back into the article. So Ubisoft's groundbreaking Star Wars game is in the early stage of development. Open world game from the studio behind The Division might not be released before 2023. So Ubisoft has confirmed that its recently announced Star Wars game is in the early stages of development, suggesting its release is still several years away. Lucasfilm signalled in January that its Star Wars exclusivity with EA was over, or at least coming to an end, by partnering with Ubisoft on a new open-world game. The project is being developed by Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment, in brackets, The Division, marking the first time that a company outside of EA has worked on a Star Wars game in 8 years. Asked about a planned launch window for the game during Ubisoft's third quarter earnings call on Tuesday, CEO Yves Guillemot said, "We are at the early stage of development on the Star Wars game. The project will be headed by our massive studio, who will make the most of their cutting-edge technology, including the Snowdrop engine, to deliver a groundbreaking Star Wars adventure," he claimed. Ubisoft was also asked what impact the Star Wars game will have on the development of The Division, and whether the older series might be put on hold. The implication on The Division, you have to know that the Massive Studio is a large studio. I mean, I kind of would hope so with a name like Massive Studio. You kind of expect that. Anyway, the implication of The Division, you have to know that the Massive Studio is a large studio, and they are also collaborating with lots of studios over the world, lots of inside studios. So you're going to see more on The Division in this year and the year after, Gilmour said. Massive is also developing an Avatar game set for release during Ubisoft's fiscal year, ending in March 2023. EA previously said that its Star Wars exclusivity deal signed in 2013 would last for 10 years, and its comms director claimed in January that the agreement is still in place, suggesting Ubisoft's game won't be released before 2023. Ubisoft was asked about EA's deal on Tuesday and whether it means Ubisoft's Star Wars game might not launch until 2023 or later. We didn't mention any specific dates, quote says in the article. Said Ubisoft's chief financial officer, Frederic Duguay. The game is at an early stage of development. That's how it's pronounced now, by the way. Quote, the game is at an early stage of development, so we'll have to wait a bit before telling you more about timing, end quote. Gilmour also said that in terms of recruiting for the Star Wars game, Ubisoft is seeing, quote, lots of people wanting to participate in this adventure, end quote. Commenting on the Star Wars deal in January, Gilmour said working on the franchise was, quote, an incredible opportunity for the Assassin's Creed firm. Is this just shoehorning every quote that's ever existed into it? I think we will stop there. Cheers, Gilmour. As Graham Day says, quote, that's the end of the quotes, end quote. So Star Wars have started development. It's in early development. Star Wars. Ubisoft have started development. The Star Wars game is in early stages of development. What are your thoughts on that, Bib?
Yeah, I mean, when we talked about them being taken over, was it last week or the week before? I can't remember. It was very recent anyway when we talked about getting taken over, and we talked about the new Star Wars game that was going to be coming out. I genuinely didn't think that we'd see it for like the next 3 years anyway. So just take your time with it. Yeah, like it's. I think we've wanted something like. I mean, it's very much like we wanted an open world Pokemon game, we wanted an open world Harry Potter game, which I think we're going to be getting at some point soon. And we haven't seen much of the Harry Potter game, but for what, even as a non-Harry Potter fan, I think that it looks great. And also wanted an open world Star Wars game, and I think this is probably going to hit every single note that we want. I think with them working alongside the Division as well, that is going to take up some time, resources. We've still had like Resident Evil. Jordan tagged me in something this morning saying that he's got the RPD uniform in there as well now. So there's still going to be a fine balance that's going to be going on there for the time being, at least for the next 2 years, as the fine tuning stuff and everything else gets passed over from EA over to Ubisoft. So I didn't see it being coming out in the next 2 years anyway. So for me, it's this, as much as it's a hype article, for me it's still a non-story in that respect, because it's just giving us a little bit more. It's giving us that little bit of a breadcrumb along the way.
Yeah, it's definitely an attention grabber. It's the clickbait, and it's the reason why we've started the show with it, because it's spicy. But it's kind of an empty spice, because once you've got that little bit of a singe of the spice, then there's actually not really much else to it. Okay, where's the meat? No, this is just spice. There is no meat to it, because at this point in time, we're still 2 years minimum away from the game being released. 2023, obviously, the article mentions that EA had a 10-year exclusivity deal on developing Star Wars major titles. I assume, without having the details, that would be console and PC, and not the likes of mobile games. We've seen plenty of Star Wars mobile games over the last 10 years or so. So that would allow them to market the game, because it's kind of in everyone's interest, even EA's. If they start talking about a Star Wars game now, which builds the hype, everything else in the Star Wars world benefits from. It's just Star Wars. It's the same but different. You don't actually realise it's different. So the EA Star Wars games get a boost off of that. So EA would have been like, okay, we would prefer you to not speak about it at all, but we're not that bothered if you're talking about it now, because it's not actually going to be released until afterwards, so it doesn't impact on it. So yeah, it's nice to have confirmation. It's nice to know that it's in the works, and it's nice to know that another huge studio is putting the pressure on the likes of EA in a nice way. That competitive pressure. When EA has exclusivity on a contract, there's the potential for, like anything, if you've got no one pushing you, you could take liberties, and we probably saw that throughout the earlier years of EA's contract. Mm-hmm. I would be happy to argue, and I have done on previous podcasts before, that we didn't necessarily see that over the last few years of EA's contract. Once we had the Battlefront 2 calamity, that was enough liberties being taken, that the EA started to deliver on the contract. Is that because they got slapped? Is that because they realised the contract was coming to an end and they wanted to be considered again? Maybe. Whatever the reasons it was, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was an exceptional game for me. Some people may not agree, but I thought it was incredible. And Battlefront 2... Oh, the builders are here. Nice. And Star Wars Battlefront 2 turned into a great game. But that early period of lackluster performance from EA, if Ubisoft are out there making games, EA are going to pull it out of the bag. And if EA are pulling it out of the bag, Ubisoft aren't going to be lackluster when they make their first Star Wars game. So, not much to say, but it's still nice. It's more of a confirmation of what we know.
I think when it comes to stuff like this, I mean, how hyped did we get as soon as they mentioned that there was going to be a Star Wars open world game? Like, there was no screenshots, there's no trailer, there's literally nothing apart from a couple of words crammed together, and then the internet lost its shit and essentially kind of put the EA... There's only really Fallen Order and Battlefront really that... I mean, Battlefront is still played out, we've been playing it, and still Jedi Fallen Order, which is on my shelf up there. That is definitely on my list of things to be playing through. Now I've finished Super Lucky's Tale. Not that they're like anything like the same game. But, those two games are the standout ones for me from the EA franchise. Ubisoft haven't even released anything yet, but just put a couple of words together, and the internet's already thought this is already going to eclipse everything that EA have done. So Ubisoft know what they're doing. I think this is just a case of, let's have a look at 12 to 18 months' time. I think we'll probably end up starting to get at least a few screen grabs, high-res ones, obviously. Super polished, maybe a minute and a half gameplay trailer, who knows. But then I think the real wheels will start turning to find out whether or not this is a game that we're all going to be very much interested in, which, from the outside, again, looking in, this is definitely something that's going to be on every single Star Wars fan's radar.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, a few words crammed together. Literally, you give us 5 words that we've not had well before. And those 5 words are open world Star Wars game. As soon as you hear that, it's like, it's happening! People just running around, hands on their face. My God! So yeah, yes. I mean, we don't have much, but we can confirm that it might not be released before 2023. No, actually, can you confirm that it might not be released? It's likely that it won't be released before 2023, but we can confirm because of we've had the confirmation from Yves Guillemot at Ubisoft that they are in production. So it is happening. It would be nice to see something at this digital E3 event that we were speaking about in yesterday's scoop. If you missed that, it's on YouTube and also available on Twitch. It would be nice to see some tidbits in that, maybe. Might be a bit too soon if we're looking at 2023, because if not, you start to fall into that well of it's still coming. It's almost like Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk had its cycle drawn out because of the delays. Yeah. Almost to a point where it was a negative. I mean, it's still arguably positive until the very end of the Cyberpunk cycle, but yeah, I would be surprised to see something in Ubisoft's... No, actually, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if Ubisoft do all of their show and finish with a 30-second
It's just the title coming to the screen. It's just something as simple as that.
I mean, that's it. That's a huge point. We saw it with EA, with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I remember seeing the actress that played Iden Versio in the story of Star Wars Battlefront 2. Great single player. Not a very long campaign, but a good single player campaign. Not the best one for Star Wars, but still good. Anyway, I remember seeing Iden Versio on stage with a shitload of stormtroopers around her at EA Play 3 years ago, whenever it was, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And that was all about Star Wars Battlefront 2. Apologies, that's absolutely not my ass. It's the contractors. Anniversary on stage talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2, and then camera cutting to Andrea Renee sat in the crowd, who gave the first information on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. No visuals, just a confirmation that a single player story mode was being made, and it was called, I think they confirmed Jedi Fallen Order. So yeah. A very, very short skit, teaser trailer, and then title confirmation. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. Good shout, babe. Good shout. We'll see. Someone note it down. If it happens at Ubi's E3, then that's point as you. Nice.
Nice.
Steel Bonsai and Madge, You absolute beautiful people. Thank you for the hosts as well. I'm not sure if I called those out. I may have got bonsais, but I definitely didn't get Madges. So thank you very much for the hosts. Cheers, boys. Cheers, boys. Gary says no. That will be fucking brutal. I'm assuming that's the voice note of Garlic Clark. It's okay. I won't do it. Garlic Clark. No, I'm joking. Obi-Wan Gonobe. Steel Bonsai says, love Star Wars games. Still play with the Battlefront games. Recently downloaded the latest game too, as it's on Game Pass. I'm sure you said before it's a good game. That's the one, Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, really good. I really, really liked it. It did get some negative press because of bugs and glitches and stuff. When I played it, there was a couple of things that were a bit scrappy. But overall, it was a very, very polished game. So if you like Star Wars and you like Tomb Raiders and Uncharted's, it's pretty much the same thing. It's Star Raider or Tomb Wars. That's what it is. It's definitely good. Yeah, we all knew that this is a while off. Same with the 007 game from IO. Yeah, absolutely. Gary says, I thought that noise was the start of the 20th Century Fox intro then. Well, there you go. Okay, that's enough before we get copyright striked. It's me just tapping a mint box. Leave me alone. Battlefront 2 plays great and in my opinion looks fantastic and sounds fantastic. It does look fantastic. Me and Bibby played some on PC and it was great. We didn't stream that because my stream just wasn't able to run the game and the stream set, which is bizarre because you think a game that's that big and made by EA would be optimized for PC. It's just absolute resource hungry, so I couldn't stream it even at the lowest settings and have my PC run that as well as the stream. So yeah. Bibby is so hardcore. Super Lucky's Tale. Yeah. Big thing.
Hey, listen, if you've not played it, honestly, if you've got Game Pass, download it and play it. New Super Lucky's Tale though, because they're both on there. But the new one is obviously the one where it's got all the nice graphics and the controls are a lot better. But play that game if you've not played it before. It's a good little platform. Basically, just take out Crash Bandicoot and put Lucky in there.
Questions, babe. I want to see how hardcore you are. Did you finish Super Lucky's Tale?
Yes, I did.
Did you finish Astrobot?
Yes, I did.
Astro's Playroom. Did you finish Days Gone?
No.
Did you finish Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? No. Did you? Keep going. Keep going.
Coming of embarrassment.
It's amazing how some games. I mean, I'm not by any stretch of the imagination saying Astro or Super Lucky's Tale are bad. I've never played Super Lucky's Tale, so I can't say. But Astro's Playroom is really, really good. But
it's bad.
It is badass. But yeah, if it's a game aimed at a 12-year-old, Bibby is there. But if it's
it is weird though that game literally just captured. I don't want to say captured my imagination. That's a bit lame. But literally, like as soon as I finished playing it, I wanted to carry on with it. It's just got it. Like, if I went back and played Spyro, the reason I played that is because I played Spyro with PS2 like 3 weeks ago, and I thought these platformers, man, Astrobot, then Spyro. I was like, I just need something else, and it's available on Game Pass. I mean, if I say it 3 times fast, Robo's gonna.
Hey! I sat there and paused with my finger in the air.
You see, your fucking brain was just spinning.
For those that may be new here, there is a lovely member of the community called Robo Daniel, and he, despite being called Robo Daniel, is Robo Daniel, and he has been Robo Daniel for Bibby forever, despite us correcting him, and that was what the pause, you could hear the churning. The churning wasn't the drill in the background, that was within Bibby's head trying to figure out if it was right. Nice.
It's literally been coming into the streams for like a year, and I still get his name wrong every single day. And it might be funny for him, but it's super embarrassing for me. It just goes...
Garlic Clark is here. Hey, Garlic Clark. Let me just type something in the chat for you. You may not have seen this before, but exclamation mark Garlic Clark. Bush. There you go. Oosh. Bonsai says I've played them, Bibby. Good games. Which ones are we talking about? We're talking about Days Gone, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, or we're talking about Super Lucky's Tale and Astro's Playroom?
New Super Lucky's Tale. Come on, Graham. The new Super Lucky's Tale.
Sorry, that's gonna be my Robo. It's fine.
Morning, Jordan.
Fuck it, I'll check it out. We can both be hardcore together, Bib, says Gary.
Get off it. Like, Borderlands is going to the side now. You're going to play new Super Lucky's Tale.
Sorry, Mr. T. It's game over. Also, good morning, Jordan, from me as well. Hello. Vanessa OG's Vanessa, good morning. welcome in. Gary Clark says, I got to the same part in Days Gone, babe, and it's lost fun after that. So frustrating.
If I'm spending like 2.5 hours to try and get past a bit, I'm not getting past it, and I don't want to be the guy that drops the difficulty down either. So I'd rather just abandon the game. Boo. Yep, you ready for first?
Yep. See, I dropped the difficulty there and just begrudgingly finish it and get it over with, and just like no, don't care.
I'll come back to it in 4 years' time when the PlayStation 6 is out or something.
in 4 years' time? Woo! Short console generation, this one. Everyone still won't have a PS5 by that point.
I reckon this one's going to be shorter than the rest. I'm telling you now.
I think you're potentially right there. Unless they have some major advance in terms of like coding and storage space or whatever that gets into the Pro, but I can't see it. I think you might be right. Bonsai says, I still have Spyro and Crash Team Racing, Super Lucky's Tale, some great games. I've not played any of those for a bajillion years, but I do play PUBG each and every single day. Nice. Spider-Man, that's one that I still need to finish. That's what I'm going to be jumping into. As well as jumping into Spider-Man, though, other games that I may jump into are, well, this. This is absolutely me building up a tangent. See this cellophane still wrapped game? That's CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk. But I'm not playing that just yet. I'm waiting for a few things to be fixed. That may take a little bit longer, because if you weren't here yesterday, the story that we covered said that CD Projekt Red had a breach. Well, today's article from James Troughton at The Gamer. Welcome to The Scoop. This is the first time The Gamer has ever been featured, I believe. I mean, we got over 300 episodes in, and you've finally broken the seal. Welcome to the library of The Scoop, The Gamer, as the CD Projekt Red breach may have been an inside job, according to digital privacy expert. Let me just stop there for a second. I did not. Did you?
No, I didn't until I read the article this morning. I was like, oh, rubbing my hands together.
I mean, this is either so bizarre. If I've not read the article, it could actually just be clickbait for all I know. But this is either so bizarre that it's something you'd see on a Hollywood film, but in real life, or this is incredible marketing. I don't know. But let's go. So, blaming developers, given all of the behind-the-scenes treatment, such as crunching, could have certainly pushed some over the edge. Speaking to Nintendo Life, digital privacy expert Ray Walsh stated that there is a distinct possibility of an inside job regarding the data breach at CD Projekt Red. Quote, the possibility of an inside job is, of course, plausible. The bad press caused by the early release of Cyberpunk 2077 in a buggy state, as well as reports that CD Projekt Red blamed its developers for the issues, could well have left a bad taste in somebody's mouth, end quote. It isn't too far-fetched of an idea, especially given Walsh's credentials, as CD Projekt Red allegedly crunched employees for Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3, as even a former developer claimed that they underwent grueling, underpaid work to hit deadlines. The game was also evidently unfinished by its buggy state, as it dropped far, far too early. Blaming developers, given all of the behind-the-scenes treatment, could have certainly pushed someone over the edge, although police are still investigating all avenues as far as we are aware. Walsh added, if game code was stolen, CD Projekt Red run a real risk that those games will be leaked online, whether they pay or not. If the game code is released online, this would permit cracked versions of their games to proliferate online for free, as a result of which the studio could find themselves hemorrhaging profit. That being said, quote, initial reports appear to show that no consumer-related data was lifted, end quote. But in the scenario that this claim is found to be untrue, unfortunately, consumers will have to watch, the quote again, watch this incident closely to be sure that no personal data was affected that could be leveraged for phishing or ID fraud. For now, we have to wait until more details come from the police, as CD Projekt Red has, as stated in its Twitter post, contacted law enforcement and begun an investigation. Whoever is behind this will likely be ousted as a result, but for now, CD's stance is not to negotiate or pay the ransom, but rather to find the culprit. Fucking hell. I mean, it's all hearsay, it's all speculation. But CD Projekt Red's data breach may have been an inside job. Bib, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think that may be a step too far. I've got, I've got. If someone was to do that, obviously they'd have to be very, very, very knowledgeable of how things do, especially to leave a note inside their own servers, coming from potentially a PC that's coming from inside the place, to be able to type all the notes up and then leak it externally, unless they've obviously just thumb drived it and done it that way. I think it'll be a lot easier for someone to be able to get in from a remote location than someone literally inside the building and taking it out. However, I have no knowledge of how all this stuff happens. So as far as, for all I know, it genuinely could be the same. It could be legitimate. Again, it's all speculation at this point. If someone wants to break it down for us as it actually comes to fruition, that'll be fantastic. But yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I mean, for speculation purposes and for me to try and hype this up, I would absolutely love it to be someone from the inside. But apart from that, I literally have no affiliation or anything with it, so I don't know. It's all still a little bit bonkers.
Easy to
but yeah, I'm sure we'll find out at some time.
Just want to shout out Tharian Drake for raiding with a party of 4. Good morning / super late night for everyone from Mr. Drake's stream. Welcome in. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you very much. Also, just reminding me then, because the lights flashed, as they do whenever anyone raids the channel, that Pirate did redeem the disco lights about 20 minutes ago-ish. It's not actually in my activity feed, but I did see it in the chat. So let me just press this. Thank you very much for using the channel points, Pirate. Nice. Welcome in. Everyone from Tharian Drake stream, much appreciate. If someone could just type !! raid hype in the chat, that would be very nice. Thank you. I love the idea of this being an inside job, though, just because it's a spicy meatball. It's so much more exciting. I mean, it's not. It's a fucking horrendous story. If CD Projekt Red are being blackmailed and forced into giving ransom for stuff that shouldn't be happening, it's all illegal. It's all a shit show. But looking at it purely from a dramatized spectator point, if it's someone inside job, it's spicy, it's fun. It's not. That's not what we're saying. But it does make it a little bit more interesting. I did see a really good quote though the other day, and it was like, if you're a hacker, and you're hacking into someone's servers, you're encrypting servers so they can't access their own data, you are taking and copying their files off into your locations. Some of those files can be massive, so you have to act quickly, because to get the data in, get the data and get out quickly, you have to move as fast as you can. And someone said, I think this is all bullshit, and let me tell you why. Because, and it wasn't the fact that they'd gone in and encrypted servers. It wasn't the fact that they'd gone in and downloaded full copies of the games. It was the fact that the ransom note was left on Notepad. And this person was like, I mean, I understand downloading full games could take some time, but no hacker has the time for Notepad, which is a Microsoft Office program. Nobody has time for a Microsoft Office program to open. I was like, whoa. Obviously, Microsoft slander still happening like that in the year 2021. Wow! But you could tell that guy was clearly more technical than me, because if you're more technical than me, then Microsoft Office is just a bloaty shit show. But yes, the gist of this article by James Troughton, obviously scraped from a Nintendo Life interview. Nintendo Life interviewed Ray Walsh, a digital privacy expert, and he says it's definitely plausible. Still, as plausible as it is, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe. I'm saying it. I don't know. It's what's my opinion? I don't think it would be, just because it's unlikely. But then again, it's still very, very plausible. So it's very possible. Even if Developer 3, who's pissed off with their working conditions and the fact that they've worked for 7 years for a game to be an absolute shit show upon release for large numbers of gamers, they may not have done it themselves, but they may have given the information to their mate, who is also a developer / someone that has the skills to do decent level of hacking. They may have been complicit, even though they may not have done it themselves. So there's all sorts of angles that it could go. I do hope that they get down to this. The only thing is, if someone has that level of ability to get into something like CD Projekt Red, take over full servers, take all that data, you kind of have to feel that they'd have cleaned up their footprints, so we won't find out it is. But we will see. We will see. We will keep you posted. What do we think? Do we think it's an inside job? What do you guys think? What you saying? Would you like it to be an inside job just for the spicy meatballs? Let me know. Let me know. Graham says that he'll drop the difficulty to get past it, but you can't go any lower than easy, mate. I think you can, actually. Most of the games have a super easy... so I've been told. Yes. Nice change of pace from playing PUBG all the time. Exactly. Inside job. Story just gets more crazy, says Jordan. Mental. This is nuts. The next Sherlock Holmes movie will be going... next Sherlock Holmes movie is going to be about CD Projekt Red at this... Imagine. Just finally got some DTS X headphones and activated on my Series X. Holy shit, it's amazing. Going to try Cyberpunk with them. DTS X? What's that? Explain.
I don't know what DTS is.
Mr. Tharian Drake says, love you guys, I need to sleep. Appreciate the raid, Tharian. Thank you very much, dude. Enjoy the nap. Because, you know, it's probably like 4 a.m. and you've got to be up for work in probably like 2 to 3 hours or whatever. I don't know. Enjoy the sleep. Thank you very much for the raid once again. Okay, so Cyberpunk, the developer behind Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red, believes that they've been done dirty, and digital privacy experts don't believe that they should be eliminating the possibility of it coming from within. So we'll keep our eye on that story as it evolves. Naturally, we are the Cyber Scoop. We don't intend to be, but we just tend to have a lot of news that covers Cyberpunk because you guys want to know. So we'll keep you posted on things that develop with that, just like we will with other stories. And one story that has developed and has been featured quite regularly on the Scoop for the last 2 or 3 months is this one, as Microsoft plans to merge ZeniMax into a new subsidiary called Vault. PS5 releases for future Bethesda games are still up in the air. This is written by Joe APSEY at PSU. A new document from an online gateway covering European Union law has revealed that Microsoft will acquire Bethesda under a new subsidiary which is being created called Vault, and that Bethesda's parent company ZeniMax Media will be merged into Vault rather than directly through Microsoft. The document, which can be fully viewed online, is a notification prior to the EU allowing the ZeniMax and Microsoft merger, and states that Microsoft will have sole control of the whole of ZeniMax. The concentration of these two companies will take place through a merger pursuant to which a newly created Microsoft subsidiary Vault will be merged with and into ZeniMax. The reason that sounded a bit off-kilter is because that was legal wording taken out of the original document. Anyway, in short, this means that Bethesda and ZeniMax will legally be classified under a new company known as Vault, rather than being directly connected to Microsoft. This is similar to how Take-Two Interactive operates and publishes efforts of Private Division, which are a subsidiary of the company. Vault will still be fully controlled by Microsoft, as it will be a wholly owned subsidiary, and puts the future of Bethesda releases on PS5 still largely up in the air. Microsoft could very easily just publish these Bethesda games on Xbox and PC platforms, integrating ZeniMax into the Xbox Game Pass Studios lineup, but they could also just as easily release them on other platforms such as PS5, Nintendo Switch and Google Stadia, due to this company acting as a middleman between Microsoft and Bethesda, not fully integrating with Microsoft and acting as a wall of separation between the two. For example, we might see these games come to PS5 with a Vault or even an Xbox Game Studios logo, similar to how the PlayStation Studios logo appears on the Xbox Series S and X and Xbox One retail box for MLB The Show 21. As Microsoft is actually buying a number of companies with their purchase of ZeniMax, Vault is a way of keeping them under one umbrella. We will see this summer, once the acquisition has been finalised, whether that results in Microsoft releasing Bethesda's games elsewhere or keeping them to themselves. So, ZeniMax Media, the owner of Bethesda and everything else, could be rebranded into one singular brand called Vault. That then could have an impact on whether Xbox games do come to PS5 or not. I say Xbox, I mean things like Elder Scrolls and Fallout and all the rest.
Doom, Prey.
What are your thoughts on that, babe?
I still, if it has an Xbox logo on the front of the box, I don't give a shit. It's these, as far as I'm concerned, these are still going to be coming to every other platform. Again, they're not going to turn down free money. they can't afford to, especially if it's just a Microsoft-owned product. Is this going to be? I mean, it's kind of a stupid argument because it's like this is just saying that who buys a PlayStation just to play the PlayStation exclusive? Is this going to make me go and buy an Xbox Series X or S to be able to go and play these games? No, because I know that if I wait 12 months, they'll end up coming to PlayStation anyway. But I can play them on PC. So I'm totally unaffected by this. Because they're going to be coming to Game Pass, or they'll be playing on PC at some point, or they'll just be a timed exclusive. Again, we're treading over old ground with stuff like this, but they aren't stupid. If they keep this to just Xbox, they aren't going to sell nearly as many copies as they think they're going to sell. So, especially when it comes to Elder Scrolls, when it comes to Doom, Wolfenstein, and Fallout. So, if they just keep this to Xbox, I think they'll be digging the grave to an extent. For me, whatever gets put on the front of a box, whether or not it's a PlayStation logo or an Xbox logo, I don't really care. As long as the only people that gets hurt in all of this is obviously the people who are going to be buying your game. So yeah, I love console wars. I love the camaraderie and everything that goes around it. But when it's at the detriment to your own customers, I think that's kind of where, because it isn't. And fair enough, Microsoft Studios are buying them out, but they're not Microsoft creation studio. I know that sounds stupid, but they're not stuff. Microsoft first party haven't bought these. They're buying a third party company and they're bringing them under the umbrella. I think that's the slight difference with this. So like Sony Studios aren't. They've slapped their own logo on an MLB franchise now that's going over to Xbox. Again, the only time that the consumer gets hurt is by when it doesn't go to other stuff, especially when you're buying a third party company. So yeah, I cannot and will not ever see the likes of Elder Scrolls and Fallout and Doom and everything just becoming PlayStation exclusives. Fair enough, maybe timed exclusives,
Xbox exclusives.
but they will not. Pardon?
Do you mean becoming Xbox exclusives?
Yeah. So I can't see them just becoming fully Xbox exclusive. It doesn't make any sense. They'll lose far too much money.
I've just changed the discussing now title to be Microsoft Takeover ZeniMax to be Vault. Gary Clark says it might end up being ZeniMin on the PS5.
Yeah.
Hey. Good morning, Tito. He says, morning, gents. Welcome in. No, I agree. Like I've said before, we've kind of glanced over this a few times, and no doubt it'll keep coming back to the fore as things change. Obviously, the talking point here is that Microsoft's plans of taking over ZeniMax have been detailed a little bit more, and that's the fact that they are doing that under a new name. It's not going to be ZeniMax that's owned by Microsoft. It's going to be Vault. That's the whole name for it. And that's the only thing that's kind of really changed. Everything else is still up in the air, as it says in the tagline, in the title of the article. I do agree that with Bibby's wording, not Bibby's wording, what Bibby's just said in terms of, I can't see this being all exclusive. There is the potential for it. Through words that have been said by Phil Spencer. We've mentioned all of that on the show before as well. In terms of they will look after themselves just as much as that. This isn't to stop people from being able to access games, but they also want to make sure that they're looking after their best interests. That could be interpreted as, okay, well, if we just keep it for ourselves, then that's our best interests. But also, the best interests could be selling it everywhere to give everyone access to all revenue streams. So, yeah, I believe that the games will still come to all platforms. Enix says,
Sorry.
I'm going to say, Enix says, I still think Bethesda games will be Xbox exclusive. You don't just spend $7 billion for nothing. I guess we'll find out after March when they acquire ZeniMax. They will be more open about the whole exclusivity thing. Can't do it yet because it's not fully acquired yet. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Do you want me to tell you how they're going to make that £7 billion back quicker? By selling it on every single platform. If they was to just sell this on Xbox, they are going to take forever to pull that back, and that's just not being bitter. I mean, the Xbox and PlayStation race isn't even close. The software side of it, maybe when you in terms of buying Xbox Game Pass, maybe that may end up boosting it up. But in terms of actually selling the consoles, it isn't even close. So why would they want to lose 75% of their revenue by not having it on other consoles? They'll make their money back quicker on having them on every single console. All they need to do is release a new Elder Scrolls, release a new Fallout that isn't a broken buggy mess, and they will start to see money rolling back into the company again. It's not a case of, yeah, we're just going to buy it and bring it out on Xbox. Fair enough, you're more within your right to do that. You own the company now. You can do whatever you want. But the people upstairs aren't going to think, hold on a minute, we can we can make £75 million more by bringing it on every other console. It doesn't make any sense in my mind, and I'm not even a person that has any like ties to the company or anything like that. But when it comes to making money, I don't think they want to lose a massive. They do not want to hemorrhage their money, especially with massive IPs and franchises like the ones that I've just mentioned. So, in terms of making money purely, they've spent £7 billion. They need to try and get that back ASAP.
Yeah, you don't cut off your revenue streams. I agree. I agree, and I think the fact that they've created a subsidiary. This article kind of touched on that a little bit, but taking it further to put it into my words, the fact that they aren't just calling it ZeniMax Media, or the fact that they're not just going, okay, we're all Microsoft. Yes, the fact that they're still keeping it at arm's length. I think it mentions keeping it as a third party sort of branding in this by having it as Vault. That allows them the safety of being Microsoft but disguised. Okay, it's a Microsoft game on a PlayStation platform. It's a Microsoft game on a Switch platform. It's a Microsoft game but it's all Vault. We don't want to muddy the waters. We don't want to make it look like Microsoft is having to deliver titles on PlayStation, but Vault is delivering titles on PlayStation. I mean, arguably it's all semantics really, because PlayStation have just put a PlayStation game on Xbox. I mean, what's the biggest win? Having to provide games for another platform. Is that a negative, or is it a case of you've got your title on platforms, so even PlayStation is playing Xbox games? I mean, it's semantics. It depends on how you decipher that. But the fact that they are having it as Vault, a separate entity, I think that kind of makes it easier for them to think universally, because you think whoever's in charge of Microsoft and Xbox wants that to be biggest and have everything for them. Whoever's in charge of PlayStation, the same. Whoever's in charge of the Vault wants their titles. That they, as the director of that, shouldn't be thinking about what is right for Microsoft and what is right for PlayStation. They should be thinking about what is right for Vault and all of the development studios underneath me. That means if I was in charge of that, theoretically, with the very little information that I've got, I'd be like, okay, well, I've just made a game that's exceptional. I want it on every platform so I can earn all the money in the world. So having that, someone has to head that up. And yes, they will be speaking to the people at Microsoft, absolutely. But they have their own targets and KPIs. If not, what is the point? Why do they exist? Why have Vault as a thing anyway? So, yeah, I believe we will still get Microsoft games, bizarrely, on multiple platforms. Wow. Well, I mean, I said Microsoft, I meant ZeniMax, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, I think that way. Gary says, I disagree with that. You make more money by selling it to millions of on other platforms. Yeah, absolutely. Look at MLB The Show. That was a PS exclusive, and MLB said they wanted it on other platforms to be accessible to others, and more money, of course. Yeah, huge. I mean, that's why developers make their games multi-platform. There's only one reason to make it solo platform, and that is cha-ching! If Sony goes, okay, we want to buy that game exclusively, we want to fund you to make a product exclusively, and cough up enough green, then you'll take it. If not, that's going on the Switch. If it'll work on the Switch, that's going on PC and Xbox, wherever. So developers, yeah, absolutely would put everything everywhere, because it just makes the most sense. Particularly now as well. Last year, when 66% of console gamers owned a PlayStation and only 33% owned an Xbox, rough numbers, obviously, we don't have the exact numbers of the industry, then you kind of be thinking, okay, well, that kind of makes sense to go exclusive to PlayStation. But right now, when the best-selling console in January was an Xbox, which obviously over the period and the year so far, I believe we covered it that Switch was the best-selling console globally, but in the UK, Xbox is the best-selling console because it's got the demand and supply. PlayStation has more demand but no supply, so it's not going to sell it. So this point right now, it kind of when it's you assume closer to 50-50, it doesn't make any sense to keep it all exclusive at all. So we're all aligned? Nice, we're all aligned.
That's it. This all boils down to it being a third party, now becoming essentially a first party, and I think that's where the waters are getting muddied. If Microsoft had always released and produced and developed the likes of Elder Scrolls, Prey, Wolfenstein, Doom, all of those games, if they was to produce all of those and always have done, this would be a non-conversation, because they would always have been and no one would have even batted an eyelid about the likes of Elder Scrolls moving over to a different system. But the fact that they've always come out and they are part of a bigger company, now they're being inherited and being put under a first-party umbrella, that's where it starts to become a little bit muddy. And I can guarantee that they bought it for $7 million because they know how much money that these franchises are going to end up bringing in. So the fact that they could potentially end up cutting them in half or even in a quarter because of the Xbox not selling as well, and then having to heavily rely on people subscribing to your Games Pass model, as much as people will end up doing that, I don't think you'll end up making all the money that you think you're going to make off that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It didn't work, unfortunately, with Gears of War, which is a shame. And that is a first-party title, so I don't know. Pass.
The 7 billion is such a huge amount of money as well. I know that all large amounts of money are huge amounts of money, but in comparison, look at Disney's purchases. Disney purchased Marvel for 4. Was it Lucasfilm? I can't remember which one. They bought what it was either Marvel or Lucasfilm. I think it was Lucasfilm actually for 4 billion. Disney also bought the entire Fox network for around 3 billion. So you could buy all of Marvel and Marvel Studios content, all of their brands, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and everything that comes with all of that, plus drills are back, plus all of the Fox network for the same price as one ZeniMax Media. That's how big a purchase this is. They're either buying something because they have great plans for turning it around in terms of making that profit going forward, or they've been fleeced. I highly doubt Microsoft are in that situation where they're happy to just get fleeced, so they definitely have plans for making this money back going forward, and surely whole of market is the best way of doing that. This situation is the same as what Disney did with Star Wars, Marvel, etc. It kept it as their own separate entities. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's move into our final news article of the day. We took a little bit of time to talk about GTA yesterday. Here we go again. As Take-Two CEO appreciates the interest in GTA remasters, but leaving the decision to Rockstar. This one is by Kavan Flavius, who writes for The Gamer, which had their first ever feature on the scoop about 25 minutes ago. So GG's, boys. You wait 300 odd episodes for a feature to come, and 2 come along at once. Nice. So Take-Two is loving the fact that fans want them to publish Grand Theft Auto remakes, but is letting Rockstar take the lead. Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick claims to be encouraged by fans' calls for GTA remasters, but says he's leaving the decision to developers Rockstar. The former is responsible for publishing GTA 5, which has been wildly successful and has shown no sign of slowing down. The game has sold over 140 million units, selling more in 2020 than in any other year apart from its release year in 2013. The likes of GTA 4 and GTA San Andreas have been the subject of remaster desires. I just want to stop you for a second there, article. The likes of GTA 4 and San Andreas have been the subject of remaster desires. You don't seem to be saying the words Vice City there, so let me just add that. Just going to add that into your article for you there. So the likes of GTA 4 and GTA San Andreas and GTA Vice City, corrected, there you go, have been the subject of remaster desires, and a recent online survey determined San Andreas, released in 2004, is the game fans want to see remade more than any other game ever published. After Vice City. It doesn't say that in the article, I've just added it in, but there you go. Speaking during an earnings call on Monday night, Zelnick was asked for his take on the possibility of remastering the aforementioned classics. Quote, "It seems like there is a huge audience of people that have probably never played GTA 4 or any of those prior GTA games that came up before that," analyst Eric Handler asserted, before asking, what's your perspective there in terms of thinking about remastering prior games? The CEO said the question was great and encouraging, but he was keener on leaving it as more of a statement than a question. Any updates in our release schedule will come from Rockstar Games, he added. Of course, the above doesn't speak to any intentions, nor does it confirm any plans for any GTA remakes. Yet it's still encouraging, as Zelnick did not state that Rockstar isn't working on bringing some of the classic GTA titles back. Also quite encouraging, it's been rumoured that the devs are working on a remaster of the original Red Dead Redemption that released in 2010. On the flip side, it could be coming up before the very highly anticipated GTA 6. A recent leak suggests GTA 6 will be launched in 2023, and Rockstar could be hard at work on that front. That hardly rules out other teams working on remasters, however. So all the salt to be pinched with this one. But Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick appreciates the interest in Grand Theft Auto remasters, but says he's leaving the decisions to Rockstar. Is this a mountain being made out of a molehill, or could you see remasters being on the near horizon? What are your thoughts, Bib?
The biggest thing that I want to take out of this article, and I mean, feel free to disagree with me with this, but the remastering Red Dead Redemption 1 first. That seems a complete different sidestep than what I had visioned. If I'm being honest, when it comes to remastering any kind of Rockstar properties first, that's a bit odd. Especially when we've had like the likes of Bully being put aside. I'm not saying that Bully was ever bigger than Red Dead Redemption, but in terms of like throwing items out of the door that people are going to want to buy first, Red Dead Redemption 1 is a fantastic game, by the way, and if they ever remastered it, then it definitely would be an instant purchase. But over Vice City, San Andreas, and then we'll just chuck in 4. I mean, 4 is a great game. It's just the driving always put me off. If there was to remaster it and sort the driving out and polish up the textures, it would be a fantastic game. An even bigger game than what it was originally. I'm not saying it was ever a bad game, but it was always the driving that put me off. It for a GTA game, it was abysmal. But yeah, Vice City. It should be Vice City, San Andreas 4, then probably Red Dead Redemption 1.
Oh, I'd probably argue a little bit there. Vice City, San Andreas, Red Dead Redemption. It looks like we're back. It looks like we're back. I think we're back. I have no idea why. Everything stayed on. That looked like it was a Twitch burp then, because everything else was on. It was just Streamlabs connection to Twitch. Are we back? Can you hear me? I hope you can.
The bit rate looks low and it's slightly dying, but it's reconnected. It says it's unstable, but we're still back.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
Hopefully this won't be a 2-piece.
It might be. It might be. Graham, you just pressed the red button again, didn't you? Yeah, there you go. Pressed it. Sex Barn takes down ICU stream. News at 12-ish. Excuse me. Yeah, the Sex Barn is still being constructed in the background. That's what those noises, by the way. Enjoy. Let me just jump into the chat then and catch up with things. Disney paid $4 billion for Star Wars and $4 billion for Marvel. There you go. So Star Wars and Marvel and all those properties are a little bit more expensive than buying ZeniMax Media. Yeah, those games aren't just going to be exclusive at all. Good morning to Viv. Hey, gotta love our RP communities boosting those numbers. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, GTA RP, Red Dead RP, some of the best content out there. I mean, even if you're not interested in GTA or Red Dead, apologies for the drills. Even if you're not interested in GTA or Red Dead, the RP communities are exceptional. If you love seeing someone be creative on the spot, then RP is the one. It's like improv. That's basically what all it is. Improv comedy. It's good. Lake says Vice City alright. Good morning, Lake. Or good afternoon now, Lake. I agree. Vice City alright. That should be first. Gary says agreed, but he doesn't think it's going to happen. Viv says I'm sick of remakes. To be honest, sounds harsh, but I am. No. It's a great point. It's a great point. We want those games remade because they were exceptional stories. But at what point do you stop making fresh, exceptional stories just to relive those? It is a little lazy, and it's purely a financial decision. Just yesterday, I've been watching The Toys That Made Us on Netflix, and it was the Power Rangers episode, and I didn't realise that the Power Rangers was basically a budget cut program. So you'll see like the American kids running around in I can't remember what is it, Hill Valley, or am I getting that mixed up with something else? Anyway, you'll see the American kids running around, but all the fighting scenes were actually from Zhu Rangers, which was a Japanese production. So basically, whenever they've got the suits on and you can't see that it's Japanese people inside, they just cut all of those bits and stuck them in an American show with American kids. I didn't realise that's how Power Rangers works, because it was super cheap. We don't have to film all the actors. We don't have to build the sets. We don't have to do the special effects and explosions. We could just take all of that from the Japanese one and stick a white guy in it. Jobs are good, and bosh. Ta-da! Easy media reproduction. And that's kind of what they're going with remasters and remakes. All of the story, all of the scripting, all of the ideas, all of the creative has been done for you. You just have to produce it now. So it's purely, it's modern day versions of that. And And I agree, there is an element of frustration. There is charm to it, going back through and reliving those old school memories, but with a new, fresh focus can be good. More often than not, it never lives up to the hype because it's not quite what you wanted, or the new angle's not quite where you thought it was. So yeah, I'm on board for remasters, and I would love to revisit Vice City. I'd much prefer Vice City 2 rather than Vice City Remastered. Give me a new story. I mean, what's Tommy Vercetti done since then? Yeah, give me that. That's what I'll take. So I agree. Madge says no love for Manhunter. Do you know, I never played Manhunter. Did you play Manhunt a bit?
Manhunt.
Oh, there you go, Manhunt.
I did. I do.
So,
I have them on my PS4.
Shows you I didn't even play it because I wouldn't have been able to correct the name. I can kind of remember the case. Was it like a face or a mask or?
Yeah, it was like a Jason Voorhees ish type. What's it called? NHL mask type of thing.
Hockey mask kind of thing.
Yeah, like hockey mask. That's the words I'm looking for. Well done.
Hey.
But yeah, that they were good games. I don't want to be that guy, but would it still? That game was literally made to shock and horror. Like it wasn't the best game in the world, but it was made to piss people off. People nowadays are less likely to be pissed off, I genuinely think. So would it still have the oomph for it to still make a comeback? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, a lot of stuff that gets banned due to, for want of better words, just because we're running out of time, I'll stick with it, knee-jerk reactions at the time. A lot of games that get banned actually aren't. They don't necessarily have a lot of content underneath them. I'm not saying that is the case with Manhunt. I've not played it, but we've seen like things like Texas Chainsaw Massacre got banned, and then when you actually watched it afterwards, it just wasn't really that good a film. It was more the oh my god, he's chopped someone up and he's got their face on his face and okay, let's get that banned. But it was the fact it got banned made it. GTA got made because of the whole controversy around getting it banned kind of thing. That's what kickstarted it off. So. The difference is GTA was actually a decent game. At Manhunt, I can't say whether it was or not.
It's like Thrill Kill. Did you ever play that on the PS1?
I did. It was. It may have been an illegal version of the game, copied or whatever.
Because it never got released.
And I just didn't get it. I was like, why is this out of everything being banned? It was particularly naff. But it was another thing. You all wanted to buy it because it got banned.
It's like you was ripping your competitors' arms and legs off and then beating them with them and stuff like that. But 1998 was a completely different time. Like I'm 95% sure that it got banned and it never ever came out. And then the way that I played it was like a dodgy copy. But that game, well, it wasn't great. It was just banned and everyone wanted to play it. It's just one of those. It's like. Was it Wu-Tang Taste the Pain? Was it Taste the Pain? I'm going to have to Google it. Wu-Tang.
No, it's WWE. Here Comes the Pain, mate. It's a completely different thing.
Wu-Tang PS1. Shaolin Style. Okay. Shaolin Style, sorry. Oh yeah, there was Taste the Pain as well. There was Taste the Pain. I'm fairly certain that was exactly the same game as Thrill Kill. But it was just Wu-Tang instead. They just literally changed the. It was either that or Shaolin Style. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. But one of them was literally a carbon copy of Thrill Kill. They're just taking the Thrill Kill characters out and then put Wu-Tang in instead.
I was trying to look at. There was a game banned in the 90s that was. I didn't even know about it. It's just kind of passed me by. It was probably a famous one as well, and it was re-released recently by what's Limited Run Games on the Switch, and it was you control CCTV cameras in a house, and it's basically and it was pure 80s 90s sort of stuff. It was like they sold it on the idea that there's girls in these rooms and you control the cameras, but it was just like a really naff thing. But because it was basically home invasion monstery sort of stuff, it got banned. And in reality, the game underneath it was actually pretty wank. But because it was banned and because it had like almost suggestive imagery of girls and CCTV, that it was a success. But yeah, it wasn't great. Anyway, what a tangent. We've gone from one mention of Manhunt to all the games that have been banned ever. Angel Grove, that's it. Hill Valley is Back to the Future. Yeah, it's multitasking. I can't do it. Chappers, welcome in. He says, you know what? I wish could get a remaster or PC port. The full Gears of War trilogy. The treatment the Halo franchise has had with the Master Chief Collection is superb, and I really wish that Gears got that same level. There was talk of Cliff Basinski going back to consult on the new Gears franchise stuff. So I mean, if he does go back and does consult on any of that sort of stuff, I think that's when we might see that sort of remaster element. Until then, I can't see it really happening. I mean, you'd have to get like Rod Ferguson, who Gears Viking and stuff, the original team, back, because I think they've all moved on now. But yeah, it would be good. I love the first Gears of War, and because I didn't play the second, and the game just got marketed to Gears of War's fans, it just dropped off for me. By the time we got to Gears 3, I think I played the beta, the early beta of Gears 3 or Gears 4, and I just didn't know what was happening or whatever. I was kind of out of it because they'd not done a very good job of selling it to everyone, just selling it to people that play Gears of War. I love Manhunt, but that series will never come back because of how much controversy it caused around the world. You couldn't even buy it in some countries. Mad says, I like the concept of full remasters alongside a new title in this series. So, for example, a remastered Brothers in Arms 1 and 2 with a brand new 3 would be awesome. I completely agree with it. That's it. Iceman, Night Trap. That's the name of the dodgy CCTV.
Oh, I thought you'd already said it. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what name of it. I just said that it had been remade by Limited Run, and it was like it was in a video game documentary that I've watched recently. I can't remember which one it was. Probably that High Score or something like that. But
I think it was in High Score.
It
wasn't in High Score. No, it wasn't that. I think no, I don't think so. I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I don't think it was in that.
But yeah, it was in something. There you go. Nice. But yeah, no, I completely agree with Madge. Remasters. I'm with Madge and I'm Viv. Don't just give me remasters and remakes and stuff. Give me remasters and remakes as long as you're going to give me something new. Do give me remasters and remakes of games that have been long forgotten or games that may not have been enjoyed by everyone. And with that in mind, I instantly think of Mafia. Okay, we got remasters of Mafia 2 and 3, and we got a remake of Mafia 1. That was lovely for me because I didn't play the originals.
Yeah.
And now if that kicks off Mafia 4 or whatever we go with, yeah, I'd love that. There you go. Like mentioning Mafia, nice.
Ask him if you want to go on the record.
yeah, Mr. T, nice. Can we get a confirmation? Lovely. No, yeah, nice. Jacob does stuff. Thank you for the follow. 14 minutes ago. What's that?
That about remasters versus remake. Like if they was to come out and say that they're wanting to do Vice City again, would you want it to be a remaster or a remake? And I'll use the example of Resident Evil for this. So the remake was based off of everything that you'd seen in Resident Evil 2. It just brought all of the mechanics that we've learned along the way. So like behind the shoulder kind of aspects of the game. So we'd play Grand Theft Auto now, Grand Theft Auto Vice City like we play Grand Theft Auto now. Like all the controls, the way that you play the game. I
would say remake purely because I enjoyed playing through Mafia 2. Which was a remaster, but even though it was remastered and it was 1080 and all the rest, you still know you're playing an older game. Whereas Mafia just looked incredible, so it's that vibe. But some people absolutely live for retro, and that being taken back, catapulted back through time to that moment when they remember playing it for the first time. I'm not really that kind of person. I like to play fresh, next, give me the next. I don't like to look back too much. I like to have the rose-tinted glasses in my head, but I don't necessarily want to go and play that again. I've done that, that's in the past, I want to keep moving forward. So, give me that Mafia experience again, but give me 2021 Mafia. Maybe not 2021, because everyone just sat inside buildings and not going outside because of lockdown and pandemics and stuff like that. But you get what I'm saying. Give me the modern day stuff, give me modern technology, that's what I would like to see. So if it was not going to give me a GTA Vice... Fuck's sake. It's fucking one of those days, isn't it? Okay, let me try and change scene, see if that fixes it up. I probably won't. Testing my audio. Okay, how does it sound? I'm waiting for my stream preview to load up. Does it still sound like Poundland Wally? Testing. Yep, it sounds like Poundland Wally. Okay, back.
I haven't got anything in the bank today, Graham. Car. I've got 3 Lambos on the car park. I'm having a garage built. Maybe tomorrow we can go out in my car. Yeah, that's all I've got today.
Oh, well, that was perfectly timed because we're back now. GG. So I hope you enjoyed that rendition of Billy Chapman with Faster Car. I've got a faster car.
#3 Lambos.
So yeah, the point what I was making just then is I love the idea of Vice City 2. If I can't get a Vice City 2 and a continuation of that story, give me new experiences in Vice City. If I can't get that and I have to relive the similar sort of experiences, then I'd like it to be remade rather than remastered. Okay, give me everything. Give me Vice City with GTA 5/6 level of graphical fidelity. Yes, please. I will take that all day. Like the memes that did the round like last year. Well, not memes. It was like side by side mock-ups. Someone had designed Franklin and Trevor and whatever the thing is face. Someone had done that for like oh no, it wasn't. Was it Vice City stuff actually? Was it the Vice City? I'm thinking it was GTA 5 that had been remastered and upscaled, but maybe it was the Vice City levels of Tommy Vercetti's face then versus now.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. But they all kind of did the rounds a while. I think we featured them in about November time, but yeah. Anyway, they look badass. So yeah, give me that. Anyway, do you know what? Let's end things, seeing as we don't really know how long we've been live because the stream says it's been live 15 minutes, so it's clearly been cut into, and we've had an audio dropout, and the sex barn is being built behind me as well. So let's wrap things up.
An hour and 23 minutes.
That's not too bad.
That includes the intro as well.
Yeah, that's good. Nice. Okay, we are going to disappear. We're going to drop off. I will not be jumping back on with any content today because, as you can tell, things are happening behind me with the remakey stuff. Remakey stuff? No, that's the video games. With the manufacturing stuff. So I won't be jumping back on. Will you be playing any games today, Bib?
Yes, I will. I don't particularly know what yet, but it's not going to be for like another hour or so, purely because I need to put both of these 2 episodes together, or both these 2 streams together, and then re-upload them to all of the podcast services, which I'll
go away, come back in now, because maybe we'll be playing something. The best way to find out what that is and when we go live is to drop a follow on the channel. You will be getting notified each and every time we do go live. But before we disappear and come back with additional content, Bib, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Yes, there is, Graham. Thank you very much for joining us on the show on Wednesday. Past midweek point? Yeah. We have 2 more shows left this week. Oh, that's something that I need to speak to you about.
What's that?
So I'm obviously not here on Friday. And then you're not here next week.
Dollop. I mean, I'll be around scooping for most of the week anyway. Next week, I won't be here next Friday, so it'll be a dollop on Friday and then a dollop on next Friday.
Okay. All right, sweet. Yeah, so Friday you've got a dollop, and then the next Friday you've also got a dollop. But yes, you've got 2 episodes left this week. If you want to be involved with the show, there's 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms. Second way, get into our Discord. Like all you lovely lot have done today, Enix, you obviously featured one of your articles today, so thank you very much for that. All we need from you is your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
Well, that will be at 10 a.m.
Ish.
10 a.m.-ish. We go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.-ish. As we do mention regularly, we don't do this full-time. This is kind of our side gig. But you guys being in the streams, dropping the follows, thank you very much, Jacob does stuff. Dropping the raids, thank you very much, Mr. Tharia Drake. Dropping the hosts, Madge, Steel, Bonsai, and Ferno, as well as the subs. Number One Pirate, appreciate you all for being here. It does help the channel grow, which helps us do this a little bit more often, so appreciate it. Thank you very much. Mad says, unless you guys want to get a guest for the dollop. Well, that's something that is actually potentially already sorted. I just need to confirm, but I just didn't want to confirm that. So I think we may have a guest for Friday anyway. So yeah, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Nice. So yes, thank you everyone for being here. Love you very much. We will potentially, maybe should be back with a game to BC in about an hour-ish. Nice. How's about that for extra stringent lockdown programming scheduling? Nice. We'll play the game TBC in an hour-ish.
What more can you expect from Ice Cream Uploads? You know what I mean? That's why you lot keep on coming back, because you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, exactly. Life is exciting when you're living on the edge. Thank you very much for the admin support as well in the chat, Madge. Those mod skills, exclamation mark socials, exclamation mark Discord, exclamation mark loot drop, exclamation mark merch, and also don't forget exclamation mark Elgato. Shout out to Elgato for the goodies. We will be showing you those off on stream sometime soon, but today is not that day. Anyway, we will disappear. We'll drop a raid on someone for the time being, and then we'll be back in around an hour-ish. Nice. Until then, have yourselves a good day and stay frosty.
Stay frosty.